Hi everyone, welcome back to Vedic Life Coaching. Thank you so much for joining me, and welcome to a special breakout video that I mentioned in the last monthly. I mentioned that I was going to do a breakout video to look at when is the next time we're going to have a significant Mars-Ketu conjunction in the sky. And I wanted to check this out because we have just had Mars-Ketu conjunction in the sky across June and July of this year, and it has been intense energy. And in particular, it has been intense energy for the airline industry. If you have been flying at any time across these last couple of months, you'll notice that, I've been watching various vloggers and people that I tune into, and I've seen them stuck in airports for several hours, and they've had to be redirected, and there's been all kinds of chaos and difficulties at airports. So there's been a lot of upheaval in that part of life, and there were as well, very sadly, several airline disasters as well. So this is something that has caught my attention, and I have been studying into flight disasters in particular, and I went back as far as 36 years ago, and I talked about that in my Mercury retrograde video. It was, I can't remember, was it United Airlines? Anyway, I'll bring it up by my side. There was a very similar event that occurred to the Air India crash that we had earlier in June, and so I started to investigate airline crashes because I wanted to see, is there a pattern, and is it always Mars-Ketu in the sky? I can tell you it's not always Mars-Ketu in the sky. One time in one of the disasters I did see that it was a Mars-Rahu was involved. I have seen Mars-Ketu can be like close in the sky, so they can even be in the two houses next to each other. I have seen that frequently, but I haven't been able to come up with like a definitive astrological pattern. But I've had a look at the statistics of flights and what's been happening across this past year, and there really has been a pattern of Mars-Ketu energy when it's even aspecting. So I've got an example of that. Feb 17 Delta connection flight 4819. There was just an aspect in the sky happening at that time. When I looked at the statistics for flight disasters across this year, Jan-Feb, around the time of Mars-Ketu aspecting, that was intense. And there were problematic things happening in the sky. But then when I took a look at the statistics and problems for June and July, there has been an issue. And I'll just list some of them now so that you can see it has been intense. So we've had the Air India 171 crash 12 June. There was hot air balloon incident that killed 12 people in Brazil on the 21st of June. There was the Dhaka fighter jet crash, 21 July. 35 people were killed in that one. Angara Airlines flight 2311, 24th July. All 42 passengers and 6 crew members on board died. And Delta Airlines emergency landing Minneapolis, 31 July, 25 were hospitalized. So I do think when I've looked back across this year, there has been more problems for the airline industry across June and July. So I wanted to look ahead and get a feel for when are we next going to experience some of this energy. So a mild version of this energy an aspect will be occurring 7, 8, 9 December this year. So that's just something to bear in mind. And at the 7, 8, 9 December, I'm not seeing any bad thing happening there. It could just be you're at an airport and there's some delay, or inconvenienced, or I don't know, something like of this nature, 7, 8 December this year. But where I'm seeing the big problematic energy that could happen again, like what we had in June and July, we could have similar energy in November 2026 and March, April 2027. These are the months to know about that. Yeah, if you maybe want to avoid flying at that time, if you have the luxury of not flying, you know, that you can nominate to not fly at those times, then don't fly if you don't have to. Now, many people will have to fly because it's part of their work, or, you know, daily life keeps going and we've got to keep doing life. That's so important. I'm more of a believer in that than anything else. And the dates that I've just listed, where I mentioned, you know, that there was a severe incident, on all of those dates, there would have been tens of thousands of flights that would have taken off and landed smoothly all around the world. I'm pretty sure it's something like, I'll look this statistic up. I heard it mentioned on a channel recently, but I'm going to do some investigating. But I heard it's something like there are 100,000 flights that take off and land every day. So if I need to correct that, I will put something up by my side. But even if it's just tens of thousands of flights that take off and land every day successfully and just fine, then, you know, isn't that important to know? I do think that airline travel is safe, but equally, I now have the ability to look up this system and say, yeah, I thought, you know, I want to find out for me, because I do fly to, you know, London to Sydney. It's a long flight. Well, it's 2 long flights together. And so, yeah, if I can do my best to avoid problems, then I'll do that. So let's take a look at the astrology for these months in a little bit more detail, and then we will have a look at mini reports for every single sign. It's going to be a little bit abstract, guys, to look at 2026 and 2027, but I'll have a go. So the other thing I also wanted to mention is that if you watch your mini report and you're finding it very abstract and what is this? Well, because it can be hard to visualize for some people that far into the future. As an astrologer, I mean, we go very far into the future sometimes. I mean, yeah, I have no problem with any of that, but it could feel a bit abstract or something. I'll just put by my side, I have actually put a little PDF together for you to download. It just contains empty diary sheets. I'll show you right here. I might as well do this now because I've got my diary here, and you can see I print one of these out and I stick it by my side. So this is one of the diary sheets that you could print out, and I just write by hand the dates, and then I've got my, you know, diary there. I love having a paper diary. I am more organized when it's paper based. I've tried to do the whole just online calendar only thing. I don't know why, but it's not as effective. I do have my Acuity scheduler calendar, which I love, and I use that for my client appointments, sure, but like that keeps me organized. Something about paper that keeps me organized. So if you want to download those empty diary sheets, the same ones that I use, then you can download that from the link. I'll put a link in the description below as well. So, but yeah, let's take a look at the astrology, and then I'm going to go through every single sign. So the astrology for November 2026, what have we got here? So I've got here all of November 2026 could be intense. In particular, the 10th and 11th of November 2026 that could be intense. That's when Mars will be in Gandanta. Mars is in Cancer, Ashlesha Nakshatra, and we've got Jupiter and Ketu in the early degrees of Magha Nakshatra. Mercury is retrograde. That's significant because Mercury lords Ashlesha, and Mercury's lord is Venus, which will be debilitated and retrograde at that time. So I think November 2026 could be intense. And then I also think March, April 2027, these are intense months as well. So I've got here 9th March to 12th March are particularly intense. This time could even be dangerous. Like this one, I'm a bit, even the November 2026, that doesn't look good to me, but this one in particular, 9th March to 12th March, are particularly intense with a retrograde Mars in Ashlesha Nakshatra. Jupiter is also retrograde and exalted in Cancer, Ashlesha Nakshatra, and Ketu is in Ashlesha Nakshatra as well. That is intense energy. And I've got here Mars then goes forward and passes through the same Gandanta point again, and will be Gandanta from 22 April to 25th April 2027. And I mean, we're going to have, you know, Ketu and Jupiter in the same neighborhood as well. They haven't moved too much by the time it's, you know, 22 April to 25 April. So it's very similar conditions. So I am certainly going to remember this just in my head, you know, I'm just going to remember it. And just for my own information, so that I just know that, hey, that could be an intense time. All right, so mini readings for 2026 and 2027. How I'm going to do this, because it is abstract. It is, you know, as I was putting these together yesterday, I was like, this is quite abstract. It can be a bit tricky maybe to visualize what you're doing at the end of next year. But why not? You know, let's take a look. We can do this with this system. So how I'm going to do this to sort of help us visualize what's going on at that time is I'm going to talk first about Saturn, because Saturn is in Pisces, and it will be in Pisces, you know, there in 2026, and even in, right through to about June, I think, 2027. So we're going to look at Saturn first. We're going to look at what are we creating over, you know, the next couple of years kind of thing. And then I'll be able to comment on what this Gandanta can mean for you. The other way, the other thing that I'm going to mention here, so yeah, also if you want to download the blank diary sheets for 2026 and 2027, then you're welcome. This is just something that I actually use. So I thought, why don't I just share this, give it for free, like, yeah. What I do is I take it to my library and I print them, and then I like sit and write the dates and things. Anyway, what have I got here? Yeah, look, there could be huge cycles that close out. So that's November 2026 and March, April 2027. I've got here Mars is there, so you will have the energy to act on your own wisdom, as Jupiter is also there. So we've got your own wisdom, that's Jupiter, but there's Mars there. So you've got the energy to act on, your own inner wisdom. And Ketu is there. So you might be shutting down old cycles that no longer serve you. And that's what I've discovered when I've looked back at my June and July. What have I been doing? Well, a couple of things I've been doing is I've been shutting down some big old things that have been in the background that have just needed to clear out, and they've needed to go. And some of these are digital things and some digital platforms and various things that I was just hanging on to that were legacy from a long time ago. And it's just like, do you know what? I don't need that. I need to shut all of that down. And one is like, an account that I'm getting ready to shut down since having had that domain name since the year 2000, I think. So it's a long time of shutting something down there. But yeah, it's been interesting. So these points, when we're looking at November 2026 to March, April 2027, how it might manifest for you is that some big old cycles could shut down and it will just make sense to shut those things down. Also, this time in the mini reports, guys, we're just going to look from the moon sign and just do that. Just keep it really simple. Look from your moon sign. If you wanted to look from your ascendant, you can. This is the kind of thing where I think, yeah, moon and ascendant, but I'm just going to quote the moon this time. So a little bit different, and yeah, that's how we're going to do it. All right, we are now going to welcome Aries moon. So this time we're just going to look from the moon. If you really want to look from your ascendant, you can, but it's fine just to look from your moon. We are looking quite far out into the future. This might all be a little bit abstract, but let's take a look. So now Aries moon, we're going to take a look. What are you building now? So how I'm going to do this is I'm going to check in with Saturn. Saturn is the one thing that will be consistent from now, even through to about, I think it's June 2027. So what are you building now from Saturn's point of view? Well, Saturn is going to be, well, it is. Saturn is 12th from your moon. You are building a new sense of self from the inside. Saturn is possibly taking away structures that won't support you long term. At this time, the changes might be slow and subtle and gradual. It might at times even feel like nothing much is happening. So that's actually quite good. It might mean that you're quite up to date energetically, and you're not holding on to too many things, but equally you might be finding that things are transforming a lot for you at this time. So what can the intense triple conjunction in Cancer do for you? So we're going to take a look at this. Now, before we have a look at this, and that's the point marked in red there, but before we take a look at that, let's have a look at Jupiter. So from mid-2026 onwards, Jupiter will have expanded your home life in some significant ways. Okay, so Jupiter is really there in your fourth house of comfort, home, nurturing, even your subconscious mind. Jupiter might be helping you break down some beliefs actually across this time, and these are all those invisible things that sometimes hold us back from growth, you know. So I've got here in both November 2026 and April 2027, you are being given energy to act on closing out something at home or something to do with where you live. It might be, well, I wouldn't recommend moving in these months, but there is something about a closure of something home related, or something's being shut down or changed, or something stops working, or okay, got to get rid of that thing. It's that kind of thing here. I've got here also old patterns and behaviors relating to mother and or how you nurture yourself could also dismantle at this time. It could be a thing of maturing. It could be a thing of rapid growth where you just change. You have some kind of growth spurt possibly at this time, but that comes in connection with a clearing. And I've got here, you can come out of these times feeling like a new person in some ways. Yes, the renewal that can come from this time for you could be really good. So keep yourself focused on the new you that is emerging. Now Aries moon we have here. Aries moon, how are you doing with your sati? I hope you're going okay. I recently made a meditation. I'll put some info by my side. Any of those of you who use Insight Timer, you are welcome to go on there. I have just started a profile on there. It has been slow going. I've got you know, there's another meditation that's waiting to be approved and things like that. But there is one that's available, and it's called Sadhisati Reflections. So if you would like to tune into Insight Timer and listen to that, you are very welcome. It is free of charge, and hopefully something that just, yeah, it's a little go-to resource while you are in the Sadhisati. All right, well, thank you so much for tuning in. We are now going to welcome Taurus Moon. Taurus Moon, welcome. We are just looking at the moon sign today. You can look from your ascendant path if you would like to as well, but you can just tune into one, that's fine, because it's kind of a bit distant, it's all a bit abstract. But we can check in with Saturn, because Saturn is in Pisces, and it will be in Pisces through to, say, for example, June 2027. Let me just double check that, because I know that it does a retrograde, and then it's really Feb 2028 when he clears out. But let me just make sure yeah, it is June 2027. I'm correct there. All right, so let's have a look. So Saturn is going to be in the same place, so we can check in with Saturn, and then that's our connecting thing to have a look at this intense gandanta. So Saturn is 11th from your moon. Oh, this is beautiful. Yes, of course. I've got here, you are being provided opportunities to build the next phase up in your life. Taurus Moon, I have to emphasize this. Highlight it, double underline it, triple underline it. You are in a good time right now. Make the most of every day of this time through to June 2027 or about Feb 2028. Okay, if I was you, I would just think through to Feb 2028. I'm going to make the most of every day, right? You are going to be gifted opportunities to build the next level up in life. Cherish these days. They might be hard still. That might mean that you've got some internal clutter clearing to do. So there's some old things you need to let go, something you need to forgive, something inside that needs healing. Okay, if you're not enjoying the Saturn 11th from the moon energy, or you don't feel like you're in a good time frame, that might mean that there's some inner work to do. Okay, now we've got an intense triple conjunction in Cancer. That is, yeah, that we can have a look at that. So before we have a look at the intense triple conjunction that's highlighted in red, we can have a look at Jupiter and what's Jupiter been doing. So from mid-2026 onwards, Jupiter will have expanded your confidence. Okay, so your business or work might be more prominent in the world. Your influence and or reach, you know, might have expanded. There will be challenges and tests with this, but the key is to face the tests with courage. Jupiter is here. Jupiter is trying to expand you, grow you, so you really should succeed. Now in November 2026 and March, April 2027, you are being given, so that's the energy there in red, you are being given energy to dismantle old structures relating to friends, your business, old accounts, things that you no longer need. If it has to shut down, this is the time to do it. And I've got here, you will have the confidence to be more you and let go of old friends who don't embrace the new you. That's also important. I've got here, you might reinvent your image in some way, and from both of these times you will emerge renewed. Definitely after March, April 2027, you emerge renewed. There's something about you that's absolutely brand new. You will feel fantastic. But these months, November 2026, March, April 2027, they could be intense. All right, thank you so much, Taurus Moon. We are now going to welcome Gemini Moon. Gemini Moon, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Now we are just looking at the moon today from the moon sign. You can look from your ascendant sign if you would like to, but this is all very abstract, so I recommend you could just watch one. So what are you building now? Let's take a look at Saturn's position just to get a feel for, you know, we've got Saturn in Pisces now. We're going to have Saturn in Pisces through to about June 2027. So we can look at Saturn. That'll help us connect into the times that we're talking about, which is November 2026 and March, April 2027. So what's Saturn doing? Okay, Saturn is 10th from your moon. So right now, Saturn is transforming your career. All right, you are transforming your career at this time through to, well, I mean, yeah, I've got here even through to Feb 2028. There's a lot of career transformation going on here. Now, before we have a look at the triple conjunction, I want to take a look at what Jupiter is doing. So from mid-2026 onwards, Jupiter will have expanded your finances. You are likely to have more savings, your wealth has grown, or you are more skilled at handling abundance, or you are wiser with money, or there's some wisdom, you've grown, you're richer. You know, Jupiter loves being in the second, so it's a very good time to be saving money. I've got here, if you teach through speaking or lecturing, then this endeavor will have grown. So that's another thing to bear in mind there. Now, what about this intense gandanta triple conjunction? So I've got here in November 2026 and in March, April 2027, if there are childhood or family connections that have been holding you back from generating wealth, these will change to free your energy. You will have energy to act, to organize your long-term finances and shared assets so that you personally are more free and more clear in the future, and that what is due for you will come in. There is a clearing that's happening here, November 2026 and March, April 2027. You will emerge renewed from these two times, but especially after April 2027. All right, Gemini Moon, well, thank you so much for tuning in. We are now going to welcome Cancer Moon. Cancer Moon, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Now, you could look up your ascendant, but I would just suggest look up the moon sign, and that's quite all right. So let's have a look at, and that is as per sidereal Vedic astrology. I should have said that for the last three signs. Hopefully I remember to do that for the next signs coming up. All right, let's have a look. So Saturn, we're going to check in with Saturn. What's Saturn doing? So what are you building now? So Saturn is 9th from your moon. So your responsibilities in life are increasing at this time. There's more being expected of you. There's more being asked of you. It could be that there's more being asked of you and yet you're not being rewarded more. That is a possibility as well. But keep on keeping on, Cancer, because it's all going to come good. Saturn watches you. He never forgets. And that's when, you know, Saturn is that planet that will just shower you with what you are due when he can give to you. Okay, so he will do that. Now, what about this intense triple conjunction? Well, before we get there, let's take a look at Jupiter, what Jupiter will have done for you before the conjunction. So I've got here from mid-2026 onwards, Jupiter will have expanded who you are as a person. Now, you might be being tested on who you are as a person as well. So some of this could be a bit challenging or tricky, but you are being expanded. You will have grown in confidence. Your self-image would have strengthened. You know yourself far better than before. And there's something about leadership energy. It's like you are a stronger and better leader as well. This is mid-2026 onwards. So you have grown and you're doing well in the future. Now we've got here in November 2026 and March, April 2027, if anything has been holding you back in terms of connections, mindsets, people, places, past choices, anything that has held you back, you will recognize what that is that's been holding you back. And you will have the energy to dismantle it and move forward. Equally, if you don't act, the planets might act to break down things that aren't helping your growth at this time. But you're watching a report like this. I've got full faith in you that you're on it. You're on it now. So it's like your awareness is high, and yeah, see, where the dismantling can be painful for people is when they are unconscious, don't care, they make fun of all this stuff, and it's, yeah, those people can find breakdowns of things painful, and times like this can be difficult, but not so much for you. You're on it, and well, anybody watching any of these. So yeah. All right, Cancer, well, that is what I have for you. Keep on keeping on. I think that's my last message there. We are now going to welcome Leo Moon. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. So this is Leo Moon as per the sidereal Vedic system of astrology. You can watch from your ascendant if you would like to, but equally you can just watch one this time because we are looking quite a little bit ahead. We can just look from the moon. So what have we got going on, Leo Moon? So I've got here, what are you building now? Let's have a look at Saturn. What's Saturn doing? Saturn's 8th from your moon. Wow, so you are transforming your inner world at this time. You might be transforming your career. You might be changing things up in your life quite a bit. You might be getting the opportunity to reconstruct your day from the ground up. Your family situation might be changing a lot right now. There could even be health challenges as well. You could be going through quite a challenging time, Leo Moon. 8th from transits are not easy, but they are changing you from the inside out, and you will reap a lot of benefits in the years to come. So hang in there with anything that's difficult right now, because you've just got to be strong, and things are changing, but like in a few years you will reap tremendous rewards. So keep like doing the long-term game, you know, and keep doing the right thing all the time. That's also important, which I'm sure you're doing. Now, what about this triple conjunction that we've got, you know, 2026 and 2027? Well, before we have a look at that, let's have a look at Jupiter. What has Jupiter done for you? So from mid-2026 onwards, Jupiter will have expanded your spiritual knowledge and capabilities. Your awareness, your psychic powers, your internal self can be broader and more powerful. Saturn is doing this for you right now as well. A lot of the changes that are happening for you in your life right now, they're deep, deep, deep changes. They're internal, inner world changes, and it can take some years for life to reflect back to you the great work that the great internal work that you are doing now. Jupiter is boosting that as well. All of this though is hidden and it's behind the scenes. So keep going with everything. I've got here, yeah, everything, like all the internal stuff can grow and go up, your awareness, your psychic powers, all of that. And I've got here, especially if you are truly committed to your spiritual growth. So that's sometimes choosing yourself versus choosing things of the world, you know. Now, in November 2026 and March-April 2027, if there have been any unseen or hidden forces that have been holding you back, these will be broken down at this time. And sometimes these unseen or hidden things, sometimes we don't even know what they are. Sometimes this is just someone who, you know, I don't know, like someone who's close to you who just secretly hates you, you know, but you don't even know about it, you know, but then that just gets broken down, you know. So it's like, that's the kind of breakdown, yeah, things that have been holding you back, that maybe you don't even know that those things were holding you back. That stuff will be cleared out. That stuff will break down and be cleared out. I've got here, down the track, a new you exists. And at this particular time, in very subtle and unseen ways, you are being prepared for your future. Hang in there, Leos. The other thing I've got here is I've got a double star written on your gandanta thing. Take extra care if you are traveling. Okay, and that is important because you've got the gandanta happening 12th house. You might have to travel. Because your Jupiter is up there in the 12th. So you might have some travel booked or something like that, but take extra care is what I would say there. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are now going to welcome Virgo Moon. Virgo Moon, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. So this is Virgo Moon as per the sidereal Vedic system of astrology. And this time we are just looking at the moon. You can look from your ascendant if you want to, but just looking at one is enough this time. It's quite abstract what we're looking at. So I've got here, let's take a look at your Saturn position. We'll just do a little Saturn check-in. So Saturn is 7th from your moon. I've got here, you are transforming your business and or your relationship with your public and or your relationships as a whole, how you relate to other people, and or your marriage. Your marriage might be being transformed at this time. Now, before we take a look at the intense triple conjunction, let's have a look at what Jupiter has been up to, from mid-2026 onwards. So this is all very abstract, because like I'm saying, what has Jupiter done since mid-2026 onwards? I know, we're quite far in the future here. Mind you, with readings, I do this kind of thing all the time. We go very far into, when I do a reading, sometimes we're like looking a decade or two ahead and things like that. So yeah, but let's have a look here. From mid-2026 onwards, Jupiter will have expanded you financially and provided many new opportunities for growth. Now, Jupiter might have also expanded your social media platforms. Jupiter might have gifted you soul tribe friends, more connections, money, definitely money. As I said, yeah, expanded you financially. New jobs, new clients, new growth. Jupiter's good where you have it here, mid-2026 onwards. But then when we have a look at November 2026 and March, April 2027, these two times are offering you the opportunity to really break down what stands in the way of future successes. So anything that prevents you from spotting opportunities, equally anything that prevents you from being really confident about your ability to take up those opportunities. If something's been blocking you, it's going to break down. It has to. These gandantas and these intense times, they can just clear something away. I've got here, it's a great time to walk away from contacts or friends who aren't suitable. It's also a great time to dismantle digital platforms that you no longer use, that no longer serve your growth. So that is what we've got there. Thank you so much for tuning in, Virgo Moon. We are now going to welcome Libra Moon. Libra Moon, welcome. This is Libra Moon as per the sidereal Vedic system of astrology. You can just look at your moon this time, but if you want to look from your ascendant path, you can. But it's all quite abstract, so it's okay to look just from one. Now, so what are you building right now? So we can check in with Saturn. Saturn is here in Pisces. It will be to about June 2027. So Saturn is 6 from your moon. Oh, lovely Libra moon. Yes, you've always got the good things going on. I've got here, you are in a platform building time. Saturn is transforming your career and possibly your health too. It is possible that there could be some health challenges here. And I know I always say this, Saturn 6 from the moon, you've got the good time. Some of you in the comments do indicate that, hey, no, it's not a good time for me. It might mean that you're holding on to something from the past. So definitely, if you're not finding Saturn 6 from the moon to be helpful or beneficial, it could be impacting your health. That is true. And it could be testing you a little bit. There could be difficult people being brought in or things like that. It is possible. So there can be things where Saturn is testing you. But equally, if you are finding that there's really nothing good happening, it might be that you're holding on to something from the past. Something needs to be let go, or some deep thing needs to be forgiven. And it could be some very deep old thing from a long time ago. So check that out, because that's Louise Hay. She always says that if something is stuck in my life, I look around at who do I need to forgive. I mean, she does that with everything. If she's ever sick or unwell or, you know, resentment or anger or any of these things, she looks at who do I need to forgive. Sometimes it's ourselves, you know, it's not another person. So yeah, that could be a thing there. But Saturn 6 from the moon, this should be a good time right now, on the whole, you know, and for many of you it is. Now I've got here, what can the intense triple conjunction in Cancer do for you? Well, before we get to that, let's take a look at where Jupiter is and what Jupiter has done for you before the conjunction starts. So from mid-2026 onwards, Jupiter has been working to expand your career, your presence, your status and influence in the world. So Jupiter's been busy. Jupiter, of course, will be aspecting that beautiful Saturn there. So yeah, your career is expanding. You could be meeting new clients, earning quite a lot of money. This could all be quite good. Now, November 2026 and March, April 2027 could be a bit challenging times, and they could be helping you to break down anything that has been preventing you from attaining career success. You might be required to quit something, to change something, to break down old structures that no longer work for you. I've got here, for example, you might need to shut something down, like a website or a company or a social media platform that you no longer use, or something like that. But there's a new phase, and energetically you need to shift and you need to change something. So these will be times of change. November 2026 and March, April 2027. Times of change, but you will emerge renewed. That is for sure. And lighter, ideally. All right, Libra Moon, thank you so much for tuning in. We are now going to welcome Scorpio. Scorpio, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. So this is Scorpio Moon as per the sidereal Vedic system of astrology. We're just looking at the moon today. If you want to have a look at your ascendant path, you can as well. But let's take a look at Saturn. So Saturn is 5th from the moon. So the kingdom of your life and or your leadership skills or your relationship with your children and or your creativity, all of this is being transformed right now. You might be being tested in some of these aspects. It could be challenging at this time. Your responsibilities might be increasing as well. More might be being asked of you. So now before we take a look at the intense triple conjunction in Cancer, let's just take a look at Jupiter and what that will have done for you by the time you get to the conjunction. So from mid-2026 onwards, Jupiter has been working to expand your authority, your skills. Jupiter might have granted you more or new powers in your career or your field of expertise. Now, when we take a look at November 2026 and March, April 2027, these times can help you break down anything that has been blocking your ability to grow, your ability to be your full self, and to feel like you've got some agency or power, or that you're in charge of your own life path going forward, kind of thing. I've got here your ability to feel as though you are in charge of your path. Yeah, that you will feel perhaps after March, April 2027 freer, and that I can do what I want now. Hi Scorpio Moon, it looks like we had just a little mini gandanta just now. We just had a little breakdown of the file there. It gave me a chance to plug in the iPad. It was running out of power. So what was I saying? I was saying, yeah, there's something about you being more you being more in charge of your own life. I've got here beliefs from childhood or beliefs installed in you by teachers, parents, or even society can truly be dismantled and left behind at this time. You will emerge from this time, March, April 2027, renewed, Scorpio. It'll be a good time. You might have to go through some challenging bits, to reap the rewards. Your Jupiter is in the 9th house. So what I'll say here is, if you have to travel, take extra care. Okay, definitely take extra care at this time if you're traveling. All right, Scorpio moon, thank you so much for joining. We are now going to welcome Sagittarius. Sagittarius moon, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Now, we're just looking from the moon today, and this is as per sidereal Vedic astrology, but we're just looking from the moon because it's quite abstract, looking further into the future. If you want to look from your ascendant path, you are welcome to take a look. But yeah, oh wow, I've got 2 stars jotted down here. So yeah, if you're traveling, Sagittarius moon, and so we're looking at November 2026 and March, April 2027. Take extra care. If you don't have to travel, even better, don't travel. That's ideal. So just something to flag there. But let's check in with Saturn and see what it is that you are building right now, because Saturn will be still in Pisces through to about June 2027. So we'll start by looking at Saturn. Saturn is 4th from your moon. Wow, yeah, Saturn diet period. This is interesting. I've got here your home life is being transformed. Also, your comfort in life is being transformed as well. There might be times and moments where you are tested at home or in relation to property matters or where you live or any of that. So a lot of transformation happening for you in these areas. Even career as well could be being transformed too. So now before we take a look at this intense triple conjunction, let's have a look at where Jupiter will have been before we get to the conjunction. So from mid-2026 onwards, Jupiter has been working behind the scenes to make you wiser when it comes to relationships and your place within the family system. Might be that power dynamics are shifting in the family system. Okay, so that work might all be happening mid-2026 onwards. And then when we take a look at November 2026 and March, April 2027, these times can help you break down anything that has been holding back your spiritual growth in particular. So if you haven't really believed in yourself up until now, that is truly going to change. From this point forward, especially after April 2027, a new you emerges, one that is powerful, skillful, and ready to take on new challenges. The planets are really going to help free you up, and you can work with the planets just by committing to your spiritual path, by making the good choices, looking after yourself, choosing yourself versus choosing the world, you know, when you need to recharge, choosing to do your own thing rather than being peer pressured into going out or any of those things. You know, this is you choosing you. Sagittarius moon, thank you so much for joining. We are now going to welcome Capricorn moon. Capricorn moon, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. So now we are just looking from the moon today. So this is Capricorn moon as per the sidereal Vedic system of astrology. We're looking from the moon. If you'd like, you can look from your ascendant path as well, but even just watching one is fine today. Let's take a look at Saturn. What's Saturn been doing? So Saturn's going to be in the same sign through to about June 2027. So that's why I wanted to start by looking at Saturn's position. So what are you building now? Well, Saturn is 3rd from your moon, so you are building the next platform up in life. Saturn should be helping you and giving you opportunities right now. This is your good time. Now, if you're finding that this is supposed to be your good time, but it doesn't feel that way, it could be that you're holding on to something from the past and you just need to do a bit of letting go work, a bit of forgiveness work, and that will bring you into present time. Saturn really is wanting to help you at this time, so tune into that. Now, before we take a look at the triple conjunction in Cancer, let's have a look at what Jupiter will have done for you from mid-2026 onwards. So Jupiter has been improving your relationships with other people, especially your marriage. Oh, this is lovely. Jupiter might have even been boosting your income, your self-employed business, travel. You might be traveling. So yeah, definitely Capricorn, take extra care if you have to travel November 2026 or March, April 2027. Take extra care, and avoid travel if that's easy to do. So we've got here, yeah, a lot of improvements happening due to Jupiter, but then November 2026 and March, April 2027, these two times can help you break down anything that has been delaying a partner if you are single, or it'll break down any barriers you have when it comes to love or being close to other people. Jupiter wants to heal your heart, but with Ketu and Mars in the mix in these 3 months, there's something you've outgrown and it has to break down to make way for the new. And the thing that's breaking down, it could be even just a mindset or a belief system within you. It doesn't have to be a relationship with another person. Equally, relationships with other people that aren't working out, those could break down at this time. So that is just something to bear in mind. Thank you so much for tuning in, Capricorn Moon. We are now going to welcome Aquarius Moon. Aquarius Moon, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Now we're just looking from the moon point of view today, Aquarius, and this is Sidereal Vedic Astrology. You could look from your ascendant path as well if you want to. So we're going to check in with Saturn because Saturn is in Pisces now and also through to June 2027. So this is our connecting energy. So Saturn third from your... Oh, no. Second from your moon. My apologies, I didn't shift my slide. Saturn is indeed second from your moon. So I've got here, you are building up your reserves of energy, both physically, financially, emotionally, in every single way. You might be being tested on these fronts as well. There might be delays, or it is hard to save, but it's kind of happening. Like, that it's happening, but then it's taking time. So just keep hanging in there. Keep on keeping on. Keep believing in yourself. Keep staying committed to you, your path, the stuff that you're building. Keep hanging in there. It's happening. It's just a bit slow. We're going to take a look at the intense triple conjunction in Cancer. But before we do that, let's have a look at what Jupiter would have done for you by the time we get to November 2026 and March, April 2027. So before we get there, from mid-2026 onwards, Jupiter will have been improving your health and ability to serve other people. Jupiter is helping you to have more energy to expand your career. So this is good. Jupiter is providing some good health energy there. It is important for you to be healthy at this time and to be doing all the healthy stuff, because Jupiter will expand the health. But equally, if you have some underlying deep health problem, Jupiter might expand that. So this is why it is important for you to be consciously working at your health and doing all the right things. And Jupiter can really expand your health across, mid-2026 onwards. Now, November 2026 and March, April 2027 can help you to break down anything that has been blocking or stopping you from being successful. Sometimes we don't know what that is, but there will be something that the planets can absolutely just help you to just break it, and then you're free and you'll be more successful. I've got here, this is a time to take care of health. Don't push anything. If you feel tired, definitely take it easy. And I've got here, allow difficult things to leave your life at this time. The way is being cleared for a lot of new experiences that are lining up for you. They're all lining up, okay? Because you are going to be finishing the Sadhisati very soon after this. So you might be breaking the Sadhisati, June 2027 onwards. So the new wonderful experiences, they are lining up for you. Equally, sometimes people, depending on how things are set up, they might be really feeling the Sadhisati break Feb 2028 onwards, but that depends. But yeah, a lot of new things are lining up for you, and you might even start to feel those sort of around April, May, June 2027 onwards. You'll start to feel good, Aquarius moon. So yes, you are Sati Sati. So I just wanted to say, any of those of you who are a part of Insight Timer, have a look. I have made a meditation on there. It's called Sati Sati Reflections, and it's just a little tool, a little guided meditation that you can use while you are in the Sati Sati, and it's just a resource, a little thing to go to help bring some perspective on what is sometimes a difficult time. So if you're part of Insight Timer, definitely check that out. I'm new on there, so yeah, if you're able to, like, I don't know, give me a like or something. I don't think it's likes, I think it's like you have to do a star rating, I don't know. Well, anyway, if you happen to be there and you want to check that out, you're very welcome to take a look. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we are now going to welcome Pisces moon. Welcome, Pisces moon. So we are looking from the moon sign today. This is as per the sidereal Vedic system of astrology. We're looking at the moon sign. If you want to look via your ascendant, you can, but just to look via one is perfectly fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at Saturn, because Saturn is in Pisces now. Saturn will be in Pisces through to June 2027. So this is the one big energy that is on for this whole time, and this might be a bridge to help us connect to the energy of November 2026 and March, April 2027, because it's a little bit abstract to look at that point in time right now, but why not? Let's have a look. So with Saturn's energy, what are you building right now? Saturn is first from your moon. Yeah, wow. Saturn's on your moon. Far out. This is Sati Sati. You're at the height of Sati Sati. I've got here, you might be in the midst of major changes where things are being transformed. Some things might be leaving your life at this time. So yeah, this could be intense. A lot of times, actually, Saturn on the moon, I've seen in the lives of my clients that this can cause a person to become spiritual. Isn't that interesting? So this really is an energy that drives people within. Now, a lot of you watching here, you just are within, so you're just there, and so you might not be feeling too many effects of all of this at all. I've got a lot of clients who they can be in the Sati Sati and they don't even notice, because their lives are quite Saturnian anyway, especially if you're in like a Saturn Mahadasha or something like that, or you've got a very strong Saturnian chart, then sometimes these Saturnian transits, some people don't notice them too much. Let's have a look. You see, because if your life is very simple, well, you don't have much to lose. So it's kind of like, so then all of these transits of loss, it's like, well, you didn't have much anyway. So yeah, that's how that can go. Let's have a look at this. What can the intense, so before we have a look at the intense triple conjunction in Cancer, we're going to take a look at Jupiter. So what would Jupiter have done for you just before coming into these intense times? So from mid-2026 onwards, Jupiter has been expanding your leadership, your relationship with your children or your creativity, your finances, love and romance as well. Jupiter has been expanding you a lot, and this is good, beautiful, wonderful expansion. So I'm so glad you have a beautiful energy here. While this tough Saturnian time is on, there really is a planet that's working to give you a boost here. So that's really, really good. Now, November 2026 and March, April 2027, these are two portions of time that can help you to take action on whatever has been stopping you from succeeding in the above areas. So if you have felt that there's something stopping you, there's something blocking you, you don't know what it is, but it's like an invisible something, and it's like, you know what you can do, you know that you're capable, but there's an etheric, invisible something that might have been blocking you. I've got here, if there are tough lessons that you are dealing with in November 2026 and March, April 2027, or if things have been difficult to learn, if it's been difficult to learn the lesson or move past something, or there's something recurring, at these two times, these are times where the universe can step in and really help you take some big leaps and make some big concrete changes. The universe might step in and go, all right, I've seen you circling enough here. That's enough. We're clearing this out now. These are those months where stuff could really clear out. I don't know if you can hear, we've got, I don't know if it's police sirens or ambulance, but yeah, that's a confirmation these days. Because it's been so quiet in my town. I don't hear that sound very often. So to hear that, there's some kind of omen here. It could be November 2026 and March, April 2027. Yeah, if you have been circling and maybe there's a blind spot. Maybe there's been a blind spot or something like this. And the universe will just step in and go, right, we're clearing that for you. November 2026 and March, April 2027. So that is what I have for you. Now, Pisces moon, my Sadi people, I actually have something for you today. You're welcome to come on Insight Timer. I am a new person on Insight Timer, and you're welcome to come and listen to a meditation that I uploaded there. It's called Sadi Reflections. It's just a little tool, a little guided meditation to help you get through what can be really a challenging time. So if you would like to hop onto Insight Timer and have a listen, you're very welcome. I am new there, so I joined recently, but yeah, and I've written a few meditations. Like there's one currently that is waiting for approval and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been interesting being on there. I quite enjoy it, and just thought I'd share that with you so you can have a look at that. And I hope to put more on there. Equally, I might be uploading, well, I know I'm going to upload meditations to Patreon as well. And I want to upload more here on YouTube as well. So that way, you know, yeah, there'll be some more meditations. Over the years, I've had people really enjoy the meditations I used to do. I used to do them quite a bit. So I'll put a couple of images on the screen. You'll see that they're always linked below. And I often get a lot of people, they really enjoyed those. So there we go. All right, well, Pisces moon and anybody who has watched the whole video, thank you so much for being here. And take care, everybody. On November 2026 and March, April 2027, I'm going to remember those dates in my mind, and I'm just going to make sure that I don't plan too much or travel too much during those times. We're living in amazing times where, you know, we can look these things up in advance and make videos about them, and yeah, like the world is changing. You know, in the 80s it wasn't like this at all. You know, it was like, yeah, the news was just there to scare people, but now it's like, well, it's a whole new life we're leading now, isn't it? Where we really can get a heads up on what could be coming down the path. But of course, we've got to keep an eye on it and see, does this come true? And I will refer to this video then in the future and say, you know, was I right or not? Yeah, I'm interested in that. But I thought I'd publish this now. Since I looked ahead for myself, I thought, well, got to share it with all of you. All right, thanks so much for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you next time.